Is anyone getting sick and tired of this particular matchup yet? Because, I mean, I've casted these two facing off against each other more than a dozen times this year. At least that's what it feels like. I don't really know exactly what the actual number is. Regardless, spawning here in game number 1 of today's Best of 5 series in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade. Playing with the blue Terran SCVs from France, we have Clem. His opponent in the opposite corner with the red Zerg drones, he goes by the name of Reynor. Reynor versus Clem. Here's the thing, man. Even though some of you are like, okay, Lowko, you've been casting these two quite a lot. They have been consistently putting out the highest level games of StarCraft 2 that I've seen. And because of that, since they're both ridiculously good, they face off against each other regularly. Plus, they've both actually been participating in these online smaller cups. So this particular one is, of course, the Grand Finals. I mean, that's not too surprising, but it's the Grand Finals of the ESO Open Cup 81, I want to say. Which means that it was played very recently, and I mean, I can't help it, man. I'm a big fan of both of these players. Even though I've casted them many times before. All of the games have been really, really, really nice. So I'm excited to find out exactly who ended up winning this particular game. Clem still with the polar bear right there on the main command center. I'm not entirely sure why he has had that one for like half a year at this point. But he's in Clem Mlem, Liquid Clem. Clem Mlem, Liquid, there you go. That's a cute polar bear though. Fair enough. Maybe there's a reason. Or maybe he just really likes polar bears. I'm not sure. Either way, in case you've never seen a Zerg versus Terran before, here's the general gist of things. Zerg has a mechanic called Larva that allows them to make multiple workers at once very, very quickly. Terran, on the other hand, is mostly limited by their production structures in the sense that they can only produce like one worker at once. So when his orbital command finishes, another worker will indeed be produced. Because of that, if Terran does absolutely nothing, Zerg will be at 80 drones, or 90 drones, or in Reynor's case, maybe even 100 drones, far before Terran, is going to be able to reach that number. Generally speaking, in the earlier stages of the game, Terran will try and harass the Zerg. Couple reasons as to why. First off, they want to reduce the amount of workers that are being produced, just by obviously, forcing out units, for example, or even killing some drones, if that can happen, although at this level, killing workers seems to be kind of hard. But secondly, also to create timing opportunities for the mid-game. So if you can, for example, slow down your opponent's creep spread, kill a couple of those creep tumors, you can go for timing attacks in the middle of the game that are far more powerful, because rather than having to like start pushing from right over here, you can start pushing from right over here instead, right? And that makes a very significant difference. Usually what that does mean, though, in a standard game of Zerg versus Terran is that Zerg is going to be the more defensive player, and Terran will usually be the more aggressive player. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case, and obviously, Reynor, he's the world champion of StarCraft 2. He has a wide variety of build orders that he likes to play, but especially on a map like Lightshade, which is pretty good for Zerg, he will more than likely just take the approach, and so far that's exactly what he's been doing, of just playing that more passive Zerg style. As far as Terran openers go, there's a couple of different variations. Broadly speaking, they will pretty much always go for the 1-1-1 or the Marine opener. So the 1-1-1 means that you go for one barracks, one factory, one starport, and then oftentimes the third command center early on as well. In this particular case, Clem decided to go for the third CC before building the starport, which is the much greedier variant of this sort of opener. This will be scouted right now as well by Reynor, though, so he can respond to this in kind. Gets a creep tumor over there, not bad. Wait, is Reynor using the default announcer? Why is he not using the Lowko announcer? Hello. That's crazy, man. If you had the option, why would you... It's going to be a Banshee follow-up right now as well from Clem. This will be spotted. Reynor sees the little green light right there popping on inside of the tech lab, so he knows that something is researching. And at that point, he should definitely start up a more defensive opener, yeah. So, broadly speaking, again, Zerg has two different variants that they like to go for when playing macro. The one opens up with a quick lair, which is the one that Reynor is going for in this particular case. It allows you to get detection out in the form of overseers quite easily. The second one is when you go for the double upgrades faster. But obviously you're then going to need a lot of spore crawlers and stuff, because your detection is not going to be nearly as powerful as when you do go for that lair. So Bailing Nest comes up here as well. Reynor's probably going to go for a pretty quick Bane speed upgrade. This is usually the more safer approach. He thought about it. He thought about going into the mineral line right there, but it didn't quite happen. Okay, so he's going both Spore Crawlers and then also, you know, that quick Overseer opener. Oh, well. Cloak is not done yet. Hello, hello, hello. Oof, that was very close. Banshee Cloaking Field is still 10 seconds away right now. This Banshee needs to go home, so in a way, this is already defended. The creep threat was so far out that apparently Reynor could just simply see it hanging out close to his base. He sent the Queens over and got some good hits in. Luckily there for Clem, it didn't die, but... Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what? Ooh. He was thinking about it. Zerglings were ready to engage. I think not engaging there was the right call, because losing these units for free would be a disaster. Creep spread is looking real nice already, though, despite the harassment over here from the Terran player. He's killed quite a few of these tumors. Double Eva Chamber comes up as a follow-up. Stimpec is going to finish up right now at this point in the game, too. Barracks number, what is this, 4 and 5. Command center at the third base is already landed, so we're setting ourselves up for a nice, you know, a nice little macro game, just to kind of test where the waters are currently at, how we're both feeling today, if there's any weaknesses in each other's playstyle, and so far, I mean, other than that one Banshee that we saw taking a stupid amount of damage for no apparent reason, this doesn't seem like a game where, yeah, anyone is looking significantly weaker than the other one, right? Now, just to emphasize, it's very easy to accidentally lose. So, for example, if you lose a mineral line worth of drones, that's basically game over. If you lose all the Hellions for free, that's also not great, but good control right there by Clem. Target firing down the right Zerglings. You can see that despite the fact that we took very different roads here, the engineering base are starting up their research right around the same time as these Evo chambers do. Both players focusing on economy primarily here, a little bit of tech as well, but for the most part, just a standard start. Double factory play here for Clem, so I think that's going to be a Widowmine opener. He needs the tech lab right there on the factory so he can start up the Drilling Claws upgrade, which is absolutely fantastic when you're playing with those Widowmines. Creep Shred is looking really dangerous already, by the way. Like, we're only 7 minutes into the game, and I would say, like, I don't know, 35 or so % of this map is now covered in creep. If it's up to Reynor, he will cover 100% within a matter of minutes. So just pure Ling Bane, by the way. Just pure Ling Bane. Widowmines are going to be pretty good against that. Now, this is really good for the Zerg player, though. Grabbing all of those Hellions for basically free. Hellions aren't super important at this stage in the game. SCVs are alive for the time being as well. Widowmine, okay. 6 workers in total. Queens at the same time are forced to engage against the Marines that just popped outside of the Medivacs. 12 workers here in total. I think the 4th once again, or not the 4th, I guess the 5th, ended up getting denied. Yeah, 12 workers. Something you can easily recover from at this stage in the game. Mules obviously are real good, and when you have a 3rd CC that quickly, you get yourself quite a few workers out as it is anyway. Obviously, you'd rather keep them alive, but making a ring of Spore Crawlers right now apparently around the map. Banshee's over here, still trying to get some work done. I like this. Killing creep tumors is really quite important. Ooh, once again. I actually missed those. Hold up. Let me back off for a second. Once again. Banelings apparently just simply rolled from the edge of the creep. Yep. Straight into the mineral line. This is what Reynor did years ago to make a name for himself. Constant, relentless Ling Bane run-bys. And while, yeah, he doesn't do them as frequently, it seems, these days as he used to back then, he's still very fond of it. And it works well, right? Especially when you have a Terran player who likes to have all of their units on the other side of the map. It's exactly what Clem usually goes for. He's not afraid of sending all of his units to the other side and just trying to get the maximum amount of damage done. He's pretty much always staring at his armies. It means that that base defense is very difficult to pull off when you're microing Banshees and 2 different medevac drops and then also macroing at home. Those little blips on the minimap are easily missed. Widowmine drops right now as well, by the way. 3 Widowmines right here inside of the plane. Banshee now has 14 kills. Ay. Banelings this time around will be responded to. Random couple of Widowmines in random locations. 4th command center has landed. Wait, he's gonna go orbital? Wow, he went 4 orbitals. Normally, this is a planetary fortress. I guess he feels like he has to because of the fact that he lost quite a few workers at this point in the game. Maybe he feels like he kind of has to catch up. So he decided to go for an orbital command there as well, but that feels very dangerous to me. Widowmine drop over here, trying to get some work done. Center of the map once again, though. Dangerous place to be stemming your marines, because obviously there's a lot of creep and a lot of banelings. Either way, command center once again lifted up, because the Zerglings and banelings are rolling forward. Widowmines burrow very close to the Zerg side of the map as well. Base right here at the 9 o'clock position in a little bit of trouble. There's also a hatchery required down south. Man, this is what I mean. This is... If this were weaker Terran and Zerg players, they would have already crumbled under the pressure. Like, these guys are multitasking so ridiculously much. Look at the average actions per minute right here for Reynor especially. I mean, 373 is an extremely high amount of actions per minute, okay? But 520? Makes me think this man has 3 arms. Obviously, a lot of that is spam, and a lot of that is repeat rate and whatnot as well, but... You know what's funny? For both of these guys, it will go up as the game progresses. Like, this isn't even their final form, okay? This is only like Super Saiyan 2. They're gonna probably start screaming for the next couple of episodes as well, and then they'll go even faster. Bailing run by, ready to go. Creep spread is still moving. How is he moving to creep? I don't understand. Anyways. Okay. Very nice reaction time, right? It's so easy to just lose this entire clump to a couple of Widow Mines. Reynor apparently didn't just rally the banelings over there, but he was also actively looking at them. Even though he's also actively looking at everything else. Speaking of everything else. Medevac drop over here. Okay. Nice pickup right there as Clem. Like, Clem was pulling the workers and microing at home while picking up those medevacs. You know how hard that is to do? It seems so easy, but like... Anyways, Reynor now has picked up on the fact that this is in fact not a planetary fortress, so Zerglings are running on over in this direction. Sees it in time as well, pulls them back. Zerglings ready to do the same thing right now over at the 3rd base, but now the Widow Mines are in really nice positions. Nicely done there once again. By the Italian Stallion. Alright. One random Hydralisk. Joined the fray. I guess there's a Lurker Den out? I haven't seen it. Yeah, there is a Lurker Den out. Basic units for this game so far. Did you just get a Widow Mine drop somewhere? I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, no. There's just a couple Widow Mines over here in the bottom left. Okay, there was a Widow Mine drop. Basic units up to this point in the game, but now all of a sudden we're going for Marine Mine into Lurker play, right? And Lurker play with Marine Mine is not great. Like, that is not where you want to be as Terran. You need Marauders, or you need Liberators, or you need Ghosts. But whatever it is, you do not need just Marines and you know, Widow Mines. It just... My god. I've missed a couple of the engagements as well. I'm just a one-man production team, okay? I'll make slip-ups, but this game has been all over the map. Hello? Well, this is one you can actually see. It's a little bit weird. 16 SCVs once again end up going down, and I feel like Clem is starting to run into some issues here, where maybe he's lost a little bit of focus. Once again, a whole lot of workers end up going down, and I think in the bottom left-hand corner, as he GG's out, I thought maybe he saw Lurkers. I don't know. Yeah, he sees Lurkers right now for the first time, and he's like, nope. I've lost too much. GG. Okay, game 2. We are on Oxide. Fantastic game number 1. I feel like that last minute kind of shows you what can happen when you stop paying attention everywhere, right? So in that last minute, you could see that Clem was starting to lose some grip on that game. And immediately within a minute, it's over. And that could have happened for like the last, I don't know, 80% or so of that match. It is so easy to accidentally lose that it's sick to see the players go, you know, so hard at it. And they just, you know, keep going at each other. It's really fun. Anyways, Oxide LE, the early game. So we have a little bit of place to breathe, right? Since players don't really have units yet, other than SCVs and drones and stuff. Ah, that's nice. Generally speaking, Oxide is a map where Terran likes to play a little bit more siege tank heavy. And Zerk in general seems to prefer going Roach Ravager, although I have seen Reynor play Ling Bane on this map as well. Seems like all of the top-level Zerk players are going Roach Ravager right now, but I mean, Reynor obviously is one of those, so maybe he'll show us something a little bit different. Either way, I figured it was about time, though, to cast an entire Best-of-5 series. I don't really know exactly how long this one is going to be, but I've got a feeling it can take a while, because they seem to be ridiculously close. I've now had my new computer for a couple of days. As you may be aware, I built a new one together with a buddy of mine. Well, actually, he built it. I mostly just walked around. I built a new computer a couple of days ago. And initially, I was a little bit hesitant doing these longer videos just because I set everything up again from scratch. So I didn't, like, copy-paste my old hard drives or whatever. I just, figured we'll install everything from scratch. And so far, I'm very happy with the way that things are going. I had a couple of problems with the camera. So obviously, I don't use a camera right here for the YouTube videos very often, but... yeah, on the stream, I had some issues. I had to update my BIOS, which is scary. I don't know if you guys have ever updated a BIOS before, but updating the BIOS is terrifying. And I also had to change the cable out, but everything has been running like an absolute charm now. I'm very happy, though, with the video quality as well. So I've made a couple of adjustments, and I think the quality of the videos right now on YouTube is higher than it's ever been, especially if you watch at 4K 60. Everything's been looking very beautiful, and I've been enjoying it quite a lot. Hope you can tell the difference. Probably isn't that noticeable, but I can tell the difference when it comes to like render speeds and, you know, just the quality in general when I... Ooh, gets a worker. Not bad. Probably actually because he just took the third base. Yeah, he just took the third base and he didn't have money to make a sport crawler there. So that's why the worker ended up dying. Clem probably knows because of that it's also a third base right now. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's just checking here, but he knows. I am quite excited as well for what the second channel will look like, though. So, with the old computer, I was using an encoder called H.264, which is very CPU-focused. Now I've switched to a new one called NVENC, which is very GPU-focused. Essentially, what it comes down to is that the encoder seems to be far more efficient, and I can now stream at 1080p 60, so the maximum quality that Twitch allows is 1080p 60 at 6000 bitrate. However, I can also now simultaneously record at 1440p 60 at 16,000 bitrate. Meaning that the VODs should look significantly better. So hopefully the second channel, once I get my playthroughs up there, are going to look a little bit better as well. So that's youtube.com/morelowko in case you're unfamiliar. I'll go ahead and post a link to it down below in the description of this video. But basically it's where I post completed games that I've streamed on Twitch. The first game that will hopefully go up in that higher quality bitrate at some point in the future is Mass Effect 3, which I started up like 2 days ago on stream. So, yeah, I'm excited for it, man. There's like a month or so of backlog for that second channel, so there's quite a few games that still have to go up. Actually, I think there's more than a month. Probably like a month and a half or so, even though we're posting 3 episodes a day. There's a lot of catching up to do. I've been playing a lot of different games recently. Anyways, it's exciting. New computers feel really good, and even though I did get ripped off because it's a bad time to buy new computer hardware, it is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is. Anyways, triple CC opener right here from Clem. Benchy follow-up once again. Not too surprising. Did he hit a supply block? Oh, no. Thought he did for a second right there, but I guess he was just waiting. He might hit a supply block, though, in a second if he's not careful. Either way, Reynor opening up once again with a lair. Will he go double Evo and Roach Warren, though? That's the question. He's going to go Spore Crawlers. No, he goes Baneling Nest. Okay. So Roach Ravager is really popular on this map. Mostly because I've found that Terran players aren't as comfortable playing against Roach Ravager. But secondly, there's some killer timing attacks that you can hit with Roaches and Ravagers. But it kind of falls off in the later stages of the game. So I can't really blame Reynor for not focusing on timing attacks against someone of the caliber of Clem. Because I don't really think Clem is going to lose to those kind of, timing attacks very effectively or very easily. So it's just going to once again be a bio-based army, it seems. Benchy moving on the left side of the map. Hellions trying to deny some of that creep. How many Hellions are we on? 8 Hellions here. Okay. Flawless game so far here for the Frenchman. So those little run-bys here, those threatened moves, are just to make sure that Zerk is being honest, right? Like, look at the Zerglings here that are forced to be produced. That could have been 9 drones. It's quite significant. So as long as Zerk is making units here, Clem is fine. Just threatening to go for a run-by is really all the damage he needs to do. That being said, there's quite a few links available at this stage in the game, and he's still making more, so maybe he's planning on getting more aggressive here. 1-1 is nowhere done, obviously, but he is going to try and go for a move out right now. This is the Zerglings that he was producing. And once again, Clem is always on the other side of the map, right? That's kind of what he does. Got a few reinforcements here. Maybe the Lurker or the Mule Rudder will go down as well. Oh, Widowmine, careful. Oh, okay. He unburrows them. Nice move, actually. Yeah, that Widowmine would have probably killed like 7 SCVs. This guy is a traitor, dude. He was ready to blow up his friends. Luckily, right there, Mr. Clem intercepted it before it could happen. The creep spread has been denied really nicely on this left side of the map, and I believe I saw a handful of workers going down too. Yep. Clem ended up killing 6 drones there. So normally this map is Roach Ravager versus Siege Tanks. Apparently Reynor versus Clem. It's Ling Bane versus... Ooh, this is kind of cool. We don't see that very often. An Overlord pooping creep and then tumors being planted down by the queens. Anyways, in this particular matchup, apparently we're not going to see that. Both players just going for their tried and tested builds. Yeah, this looks really good for Clem, though. Like, the way he's been denying the creep. It's nice. Baneling speed is pretty late. Did he just manually detonate those Banelings to kill that Widowmine? I think he may have. I'm not sure. You have to be real quick if you want to pull that off. There's a lot of choke points on this map, though. So the Ling Bane army, I don't know, man. I feel like the Ling Bane army is good, but it's also something that can easily backfire. Because, like, one Widowmine connection can be a disaster, right? Or one Siege Tank hit can be a disaster. Terran's gonna have a lot of splash. Here's the Hellbats from earlier. That macro hatchery is not necessarily in the best spot. Banelings right now roll through the supply depot. And actually, this base is in a lot of trouble. Probably gonna try and kill a little bit more. At the same time, Terran's pushing forward. Hellbats make their way towards the mineral line there for a little bit until they decided to try and turn back around to soak up some of those Baneling hits. 22 workers have gone down, though. That Ling Bane run by, once again, the characteristic Reynor move. 22 SCVs. 29 now in total. And sure, Clem ended up killing a macro hatch. Whoop-de-doo. Reynor doesn't really care about the macro hatch. Man, Reynor is looking really strong here. It's very scary when you're already under a lot of pressure to then decide, yeah, you know what? Those 30 Zerglings and Banelings I've got on the other side of the map, I don't need them at home. I don't need them at home, I'm fine. I'll just, you know... I'll just counterattack with them instead. Oftentimes it seems to be the right call, but when you're actually in a game, it's... very tempting to just all army hotkey all of your units back home and deal with the units at your front door first. But these guys keep showing us that that is not necessarily the best move. Once again. Lings and Banes on the left side of the map. No wall this time around either, so there's a couple Widowmines and stuff. That's nice. Okay, very nice splits. Okay. Ooh, Banshee right there just barely popped it. At the same time, the right side of the map, okay. Ooh, good Widowmine hits. 17 kills on this one right here on the left. Did Clem forget +2 carapace? Or +2 infantry armor? I think he did. That does mean that Zerk is soon going to be 2... Well, actually, no, just 1 upgrade ahead. Currently, Terran is 1 upgrade ahead, but... Widowmine drop, Widowmine drop! Good response there once again by Reynor. The kid is so fast, dude. It's insane. Look at the actions per minute. So that is average actions per minute throughout the last 10 minutes. And obviously in the earlier stages of the game, they're not being this fast because there's not nearly that much to do. They're just so quick. Like, what sets these guys apart? Well, they're really freaking good at the game, but they're also seemingly capable of doing everything that needs to be done. Clem actually now getting into a tempo advantage, though, because he's killed a fair share of workers now himself, and he's got that army lead right now, too. This is where the ground carapace is finished up for the Zerg. Okay. So Zerg can sometimes end up, like, getting picked apart by Terran just pushing and pushing and pushing and over and over and over again. If Reynor can buy a little bit of time, that would be nice. He goes for a hive at this stage in the game. +3/+2 starts up here for Clem, so he didn't, in fact, forget one of those upgrades. Which shows, I guess, that he's still human. Yeah, Reynor was probably trying at this point to get that creep spread going once again, right? He needs to try and get that work account safe. Widowmine drop, once again. Responded to already here by Reynor. Okay. Reynor's like, wait a second. What did win me the game earlier? Like, what put me in such a good spot? These non-stop Lingbane run-bys, right? Okay. Let's get back to those. This Widowmine drop, man! It's been such an annoying one! Okay. Not a whole lot of workers this time. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Quite a few may have gone down there. Yeah, these guys are monsters. So Clem, despite taking a lot of damage, is getting to the point where his army is looking really scary. The creep is also pushed back really well. Okay, now this is good. Some reinforcements get picked off for practically free. But he's been pushing back the creep very effectively as well. So a big all-out assault right now for the Terran could definitely seal the deal. Hydra down here being researched for Reynor, or being built. Probably wants to go into the Lurker Den very soon. He'd probably love to go 3-3 and then also Adrenal Glands, but it's expensive to afford. Okay, Zerglings make their way towards that mineral line once again. This is annoying here for Clem. At the same time, the main army here also gets pushed back. Okay, there's the Lurker Den. Terran has already transitioned towards a couple of Liberators as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. 2 of them available at this stage. To start piling on the pressure a little bit more. 5th Command Center, heading on over towards the bottom right corner. Couple of Marines. Step forward, ready to soak up some of those Bane hits if he decides to attack move with the Banes. Lifts up the units perfectly in time. One cheeky little Widowmine! What? How did that not kill literally everything? Widowmine drop. Right side of the map. Okay, that guy got some work done. Alright, that guy got some work done. Not bad. Scanning the top left confirms as well that base has been acquired. Bottom right hand corner. Morphing into a planetary fortress right now. Seemingly uncontestedly. Although Reynor, even though he hasn't seen the base, he knows that it should be up. Top left hand corner will be killed, I'm pretty sure. But bottom right is also in some trouble. He decides to run. Yeah, he doesn't want to lose all of those Zerglings and Banelings for free. Oh! 23 kills right there on that one Widowmine. Yeah, these Widowmines are... Oh, jeez. Yeah, these Widowmines are the absolute bane of Reynor's existence here. There's the Lurkers, but without the speed upgrade. Oh, God. Okay. They don't really burrow very quickly. The Widowmines are what are allowing... Or what is allowing, I guess, Clem to be in a decent spot here in this game. Okay. I wish we could see cost efficiency per Widowmine. I wish there was like a screen where we could see the value trades of like the Banelings, because I feel like the Banelings have done some massive hits, and then especially the Widowmines as well. I feel like the Widowmines have been absolutely worth their weight in gold. I wouldn't even be surprised if one day we're gonna see like triple factory Widowmine production relatively early on into the game. Because right now it's been double factory this entire time, but like... Or even a reactor on the second factory as well after getting drilling claws. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because the Widowmines just seem absurdly good. Clem, at this point, near maxed out. Problem is, at this point, he needs to deal with lurkers. He doesn't really have much of a counter to lurkers just yet. Zerk did not ever start up 3-3 though, and Terran is indeed at +3/+3 very soon. Seismic Spines upgrade is finishing up soon. Burrow upgrade is nowhere to be seen right now for the lurkers. Makes them very difficult to use offensively though. Gotta root them in place and then hope for the best. Okay, that's the first time once again where Clem seems to start slipping a little. I mean, we saw it in game number 1, right? It can be over in a heartbeat. Gotta be very careful. Widowmine drop. Okay, this time around they will be cleaned up before they can fire. Lurker's not really in position here. Yeah, Reynor doesn't have the money. Like, Reynor doesn't have the money to get the Lurker upgrades, so they're kind of funky to use at this stage in the game. He also doesn't have 3-3, meaning that just the basic units here of Terran are trading surprisingly well. Zerglings and Banelings moving in, but once again... Actually, no Banelings this time around. Once again, there's a couple of Widowmines, and then Terran reinforcements come running down the ramp from the natural. Base up here ended up going down. And even though there's not really much of a counter here to lurkers available, Clem is like, you know what? I'm fully upgraded. You don't have very much. I'm just gonna go ahead and stim and scan and see how it goes. GG. All right. Game 3. We are on 2000 Atmos. Do I expect any drastic changes in this particular series? Honestly, not really. I would like to see one of the players try to go for a cheeky one, right? Maybe a little bit of cheese. But the problem is that both of these guys are so experienced dealing with cheese that it's unlikely to work out, and their best game is probably their best go-to, right? Gotta say, by the way, on 2000 Atmospheres, I do love this pattern. This pattern is very satisfying to look at. Yep. Yep, the way it's repeated flawlessly is really nice. Sorry guys, I've casted a lot of games with 2000 Atmos and I've never really paid attention to the pattern. Yeah, it's sweet. I can kind of see some faces in there too. It's like some little emojis, if you squint a little bit. Anyhow, Reynor is not a big fan of it. Look at him. He's just covering all of it with creep already. He's like, this stuff's disgusting. Ugh. Nasty. There's actually some holes in the creep apparently on this map. Doesn't affect the performance of it though. Just some little gaps. Apparently the hatchery in this particular case is not so... I don't know, maybe the floor or something is not so sticky for the creep to, you know, stick onto. I don't know. SCV Scout moving across. Overlord Scout also moving across. They wave at each other probably. Like, hey dude, how are you? Like, it's my Overlord impression. Reaper coming up. And of course, Reynor gonna go for the hatch, into the gas, into the spawning pool. Last game, we pulled off 2 drones at 60, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, once again. So this means he's gonna go for a very quick 3rd hatchery. Hello, Mr. Drone. Shouldn't you go? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say. Normally, when you pull 2 drones out at 60, the 2nd drone you pull out is the one that goes on over to the 3rd base. So you can now acquire this one before the Reaper really can get annoying. Although Reynor actually did already make the Overlord here. So he's going to be delaying this ever so slightly. There you go. Okay. These Reapers have been very effective, by the way. 6 Zerglings. Huh. Reynor taking a page out of Dark's book. They were a little bit later, I guess, than you would ideally want them to, though. Oh, nice move. Very nice move. Clem is probably the best when it comes to that first Reaper. I mean, maybe it's Bjorn, but I haven't seen Bjorn opening up with Reapers very much recently. It seems like Bjorn is focusing a lot on just opening up with a Marine. Either way, identical builds once again. Third command center right here, so triple CC opener into a starport tech lab, I guess. Yep. Yeah, so these are the bread and butter builds. Third Ovi moves in at about 3:30, 3:45 or so. It's going to find out here for Reynor very soon that, in fact, it is going to be that triple CC opener, and that, in fact, it is going to once again be a Banshee follow-up. I am expecting that this will trigger the lair once more, and probably a Bailing Nest as a follow-up. A couple Spore Crawlers to deal with the Banshees. Seems to be good, man. It's a Liberator. Crazy deviation right here by Clem. So Reynor could actually go for double Evo now instead. He could go double Evo here instead. I mean, he can still go for the lair too. Like, the lair would not be a bad idea. Stimpack comes up. A little bit quicker, obviously, than last game. Not a huge difference, usually. Usually with these sort of openers, we don't see Stimpack timings. Because it's already triple CC, right? He's just trying to stay safe. So Reynor's not spending his gas on anything so far. He's going Spore Crawlers right now. So Spore Crawlers in locations where they can intercept Liberators a little bit more effectively. I guess double Evo right now at 200 gas? No? He's really just focusing on not dying, I guess. No, it's just the lair. Interesting. So I guess lair and Bailing Nest? Then double Evo? It seems like it doesn't really matter too much. Like, all the roads eventually lead to Rome anyway, right? As long as you take yourself... If you defend well early on and you do some decent creep spread and you get... Oh, okay. Never mind. The roads do not lead to Rome. The roads lead to a Roach Warren. Wait, we're gonna go... Wait. We didn't play Roach Warren on Oxide, but we do play it on 2000 Atmos? So usually with Roach Warren openers, you go Roach... Or you go Lair. Roach Warren when the Lair is about a third of the way done. Double Evo. You go +1/+1 in the Evo chambers. Roach speed when Lair finishes. 66 workers, which is full 3-base saturation. And then you just pump out... tons of roaches, and you can actually hit a killer timing attack before the Terran player, you know, even remotely maxes out. I think that's the plan. He does go for a fourth as well, though. So there's +1 roach speed. I guess +1 carapace. Right. Meow. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. He hasn't shown the Roach Warren yet, so at this point Clem doesn't know. Clem's got the armory coming up here for 2/2 upgrades. Second factory comes up as well. He's making Widow Mines, though. I think against Siege Tank, or sorry, against Roach Ravager openers, you really want to make Siege Tanks. So maybe that's the blind side over here. Reynor is not showing the Roaches yet. He's just starting to pump them out right now. I wonder if he's going to sit back until he's maxed out and just try and, like, to hide the Roaches until that stage in the game, or if he's going to use them defensively. He could also just attack as soon as Roach speed is done. And then by the time he gets to the other side of the map, +1/+1 should finish up too. Yeah, Widow Mines are not that good against this sort of thing. So I actually kind of like what Reynor's doing here. Playing the series, not so much the map. Playing the opponent as well, and the tendencies that he's shown so far in game number 1 and 2. It's dangerous, though, because if you're stuck with Roach Ravager and Terran goes to 3/3 upgrades eventually, it's kind of a disaster. Okay, Zerkling's going in for the run-by. Queen's over here buying time. I don't think he's seen a Roach yet. There's so many Roaches available, but I don't think he's seen a single one yet. Widow Mines are spotted. I think he's gonna spring the trap as soon as he's, like, maxed out, yeah. Or at least as soon... Oh, well, now he knows. As soon as he's, like, you know, satisfied with the amount of units that he's got. Front doors open. This is actually a little bit annoying right now for the Terran player, who's forced to back off towards the back of the natural expansion, leaving the third base pretty much entirely exposed. No Overseer with his army, though, so Reynor is going to be in a little bit of trouble, but I guess Corrosive Balls can take care of some of those mines anyway. Siege Tank being built right here at the front. Widow Mines once again. Take some balls to the face. Factory will get picked off here before the Siege Tank gets out. A couple of SCVs are going down at this point, but really not that many just yet. Reynor is pretty much maxed out, though, for all intents and purposes. He needs to deal more damage than just a couple of SCVs and a tech structure, though. Yeah, he's looking to win the game with this. Like, that's the plan. Slow and steady wins the race. There's the Overseer. Widow Mines do get picked off right now. You can see the Marines are still fighting valiantly, though. A couple Marauders are now also added into the mix. Siege Tank comes up in the or in the main base, I guess. Yeah, he switched over to Tech Lab once again. Queues up a couple more units over here. Maybe a little bit desperate. Council's actually the queued up unit. While microing the rest of his army. I'm not entirely sure how he managed to pull that off. Siege Tank on the high ground right now as well. Queens are also pulled away from their hatcheries. Apparently, you don't need that much larva income when you're playing this type of style. Queens do have energy available, though, so the transfusions will be able to keep them alive and sustain them during those Siege Tank shells. Oh, wow. Hold up. I'm curious. Lag? D. Should be fine. Go. I'll resume for you. Go. Alright. Sorry. I was curious. Apparently, Reynor had a little bit of lag right there. Which is what I always blame as well when I have any problems with my games. No, I'm just kidding. He probably did have lag. Okay, Corrosive Pulse just barely gets stepped out of right there by the Terran player. It's a little bit hard to see because they're all hiding underneath the command center, which is, of course, on purpose. Clem trying to get whatever advantage he can, but I don't think there's going to be enough. He didn't see the Roaches and Ravagers until they were already marching across the map. You'd imagine that hiding a maxed out Roach Ravager army is difficult, right? Like, it got produced in less than a minute, I guess. And, yeah, Reynor completely blindsided his opponent there. That was actually really cool. So, the +1/+1 Roach Speed timing attack is the build that I've been recommending to new Zerg players since... Well, I guess Ravagers weren't part of the game in Wings of Liberty. But I've been recommending that specific build for a very long time. Now, obviously, Reynor went for the pro gamer variant of it. But you can see that +1/+1 Roach Speed, it's a lethal push. It can deal a lot of damage. And obviously, your average ladder opponent is likely not going to be Clem. Right? Most of the Terran players you face, especially on the lower ends of the ladder, will just be caught with their pens down and like 80 supply down as well. So yeah, nice game right there by Reynor. Clever one as well. That means that we find ourselves on Blackburn right now. Blackburn, of course. Always a fun map. Probably gonna have same openers once again, though. This is what you get for not going Banshees, I guess, Clem. No, I don't think that would have made much of a difference. Clem was actually always going Liberator. He was going Liberator for years. And now, for some reason, all of the Terran players collectively have decided that apparently you don't want to go Liberator anymore, but you want to go Banshee. I wonder if that's because Zerg players have started going 1/1 upgrades really quickly against Liberator openers? I'm not sure. This Overlord arrives so quickly on Blackburn, man. He'll poke back in, by the way, in a second, I'm sure. Wouldn't be surprised. Or alternatively, it will get suicided in a little while later. Factory is a follow-up. Yeah. A little bit of a delay, I guess, on that second supply depot somewhere. Yep, there he is. Freaking pervert overlord over here, man. Always checking through the window. It's like, okay, what are you doing? Hey, Mr. Terran player, what are you doing? You're nasty, OV, and you know it. Should fly out again. Feel bad about the situation. Reaper in the meantime. It's out of the main base. Trying to get some damage done. Not really getting a whole lot done, though. On this map, obviously, you have the little jump-up pad right there in the back of the main. So this map, when it first came out, was heavily in favor of Terran and Terran versus Zerg. These days, it actually is slightly in favor of Zerg, as far as I can tell. It seems that a lot of Zerg players are fond of going for that Roach Ravager style, but once again, they are equally fond of doing that on Oxide. So, maybe that doesn't mean too much. Third command center here. Tech lab coming up on the barracks. It's parked right next to the... Hey, it's a second barracks. Never mind. I thought it was going to be a starport. We have build order deviations. Yay. It's a double barracks opener right now from Clem, which is very safe. Like, this is about the safest way you can open up triple CC. This is like the double condom. That's probably bad, actually. You shouldn't do that. No, but this is like the time. So, say for example, right? It would be like a 3.5 minute roach warren, which is quite common in this matchup on this map. Say it would be one of those timing attacks where it's like a 3.5 minute roach warren and Zerg hits in about 5 minutes with a bunch of roaches and lings. Stimpack finishes up right before that push hits. Now here's the pervert lord once again. Always peeping through the windows, making sure everything is spotted. He scouts that the green light is on. He scouts the second barracks. He scouts the timing right there of the starport. This is going to be a marine opener right here to a T. And Reynor knows it. Lair still starts up and he still goes Baneling Nest. Okay. So I expected him to go double Evo here at some point, but apparently he's not doing that. No. Guess this is his go-to right now. No double Evo start. On this map, you can't really cycle around very easily. Like, there's this little high ground over here, obviously, where you can try and deny some of the creep, but kind of difficult to get into a good spot. And nicely done, actually, there. Gets 3 tumors. Oh, not bad. Brenda, Karen, and Margaret, though. They've accumulated energy right here. They're going to continue onwards, and obviously this creep is being pushed as well. Golden Base is coming up. Third command center has landed as well. Apparently, Clem right here expanding in the direction of his opponent. A little bit aggressive, a little bit difficult to pull off, but generally speaking, for these aggressive Terran players, it is the right call. Nice. Why did he expand? What? Huh? Why did you not just put him all the way on the edge? I'm not sure. No, he's not putting them on the edge. I'm not sure why. Pretty sure that's inefficient. Probably a bit of a misplay there. To giving himself about a split second to do everything. I like how we actually haven't really gotten to a late game type of game just yet, right? It seems to all be mid game. Eh? Alright. It seems to all be mid game. OV speed. Baneling speed. +1, +1. +1, +1 here for the Terran as well. Combat shield. But yeah, it's mostly just been Marines and Medivacs and Widowmines going up against Zerglings, Banelings, and Queens. It's kind of been the classic StarCraft, you know, meta, I guess. This is like humans versus orcs, right? It's just the basic approach. Gold base is done, though. That means that Reynor is going to be able to get himself a nice little economy advantage here. There's a lot of Zerglings over at the 12 o'clock position. This base is looking mighty vulnerable. Like, Banelings rolling down this... Oh, it's scary. They could even go into the natural expansion, too. There's really not that much to defend against it. Siege tank play this time around from Clem, by the way. No Widow Mines. Ooh, did he just see it? I think he did. Jimmy over here has been tasked with apparently scouting incoming Banelings. Patrick over here as well on the left side. Don't you dare kill Patrick, Reynor. He's got a family and feelings. Men have feelings, right? Like, hungry, tired. Those are my favorite feelings. And the only ones I have. I joke. I'm just kidding. Alright. Patrick, I hope you keep your shield up, man. Keep your shield up high. You need it. There's gonna be some acid coming your way, I'm afraid. Oh, no. Oh, Patrick! Did you see them? Through the visor? I don't know, man. Maybe you, like, have bad vision in one of those Space Marine helmets. I don't know if you can see as well as you would like to. No, Patrick! No! Oh, man. Alright, well, at least he reported back home. He let everyone knows what's going on. At the same time, the army over here will be cleaned up. Lynx and Banes trying to roll into the natural expansion, and so far it seems to be working out. Depot is gone. Lynx and Banes moving in. Siege tank over here gets pushed back too. Reynor is now flooding through the natural expansion of Clem. Banelings blow up on the mineral lines, and this is bad for the Frenchman. This is not what you want at all. Man, he's dealing so much damage right now. Clem is losing SCV after SCV after SCV. That being said, ooh, these Marines over here are still getting, they're still getting some work done. There's 13 Banelings morphing in somewhere. Where are they? Okay, they're over at the third base. Or, I guess, the gold base. Question is, at this point, can Reynor clean up these units? And I think the answer is yes. 25 SCVs end up going down. Reynor did cut quite a few workers this game to get that army out. So 25 SCVs is bad. But in the grand scheme of things, right now we're at 61 workers versus 45. And that's actually playable. That's playable for Terran for sure. I mean, it's not ideal, don't get me wrong. You'd rather not lose that many workers, believe it or not. I know, crazy. Medevac takes a lot of damage. Ooh, good pickup there once again. Creep threat now has been denied as well over here in the center path of the map. Like the mid lane. Siege tank over here in a really nice spot. Already confirmed 11 kills on that one. Once again, Zergling's ready to go for the counterattack. There's one Widowmine burrowed over at the third. Nicely done. Widowmine. Widowmine. Very nice Widowmine there. Yep. Gets 5 kills. Okay. Pushes back that army. Here they are, though. Coming back home. Banelings. Ooh, Banelings actually rolled into the siege tank for a little bit there. Clem coming up right now with a huge reinforcement of Terran Marines. Is there enough right now? The Queens are actually caught off creep. They can't get back to the creep very effectively here either. Clem splitting off creep like an absolute madman. Oh my god, I thought he was dead. He's still got such a big army remaining, though. There's not that many Banelings here. Okay, good splits once again by the Frenchman. Dude, those splits against those Banelings are phenomenal. Such efficient moves. 11 Marines are being pumped out at once. Medevacs, though, without energy right now, so he's not going to be able to heal those units very effectively anymore. Here's the reinforcements. One siege tank. Rolls on over as well. Baneling Nest is actually exposed. Without the Baneling Nest... what's Zerg gonna do? Make links against Marines and Medevacs? Oh my god. Clem, really? Really? Man, Terran versus Zerg, best matchup in the game. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Last Banelings. These are the last ones. The splits. The splits are insane. GG. So nice. Alrighty. And that brings us to Romanticide. The final map, in this Best-of-5 series. It's also, generally speaking, the more macro-focused map. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're going to be seeing the exact same openers from both players again. I actually need to go and grab some water. Like, should I... There's not going to be anything interesting, okay? I promise I'll be fast. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? No, it doesn't look like it, huh? Alright, fantastic. You know what's funny to me? These videos are now getting upwards of like 100,000 views. If all 100,000 or so... No, it's probably close to like 50. I don't know, it doesn't matter. If all of you were sitting in front of me right now when I would casually AFK to grab some water, I'd feel very guilty. But, hey. I was thirsty, okay? Plus, what is there to be said about the early game at this point? I was actually casting a best of 5 between Cure and Zest before this one. So before starting up this cast, I had already casted for an hour. But that series was just not fun. So I was like, you know what? I can post this to the YouTube channel, and I know some of you are like, Lowko, you should up... No, I don't really... I try and keep a high standard, not just for like the quality of the videos as far as like, you know, the video quality and the audio quality and all that goes, and hopefully the commentary is decent as well. But the games, I mean, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna cast before I cast it, right? So Liquid Clem versus, you know, Clash Reynor is always, it's always a good start. You know, like these games don't really disappoint. I don't think I've ever casted Reynor versus Clem before, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to post this. Ooh, what happened? Hey, what are we doing? Sorry for the thing, but we're gonna kick him. Oh, I guess someone was lagging. No pause or pause when he drops. Need to pause. No, go, go. No, go, go. Go, go. WTF. Aha. Ha, 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 ha. Go, go. Oh, I do it. Great conversation. Fantastic conversation. Yeah, so in these kind of games, there's a referee in the game as well, right? In these tournament matches, there's always a referee. And while they're rarely needed, they are needed to like pause and unpause the game. Or actually, no, they aren't needed to pause the game, but they are needed to unpause. A triple CC opener? What? No way. Is he gonna make a tech lap on the barracks? No, don't tell me he's gonna make a tech lap on the barracks. That would be insane, dude. We've never seen this before. Hey, it's a tech lap. Who would have guessed, huh? Who would have thunk? I don't understand where that comes from, by the way. Why do people say, who would have thunk? That makes no sense. As someone who, like, learned English, that, like, some... You know what bothers me as well? I know that this is, like... Okay. When someone says, rather than should have, or, like, should have, they say, shoot off. How? What? Why? This looks so ugly. Like, I don't want to be an English elitist because I make plenty of mistakes myself, but you should have done that? How? I've asked this on stream as well, and people tell me, well, Lowko, when you say it really fast, should have done that, it sounds like you say off. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't, man. Maybe with some accents it does, but shoot off? Really? No. Who would have thunk is another one that I do not understand. Anyways. In today's episode of Lowko's Pet Peeves, we complain about a language he can barely speak himself. Fantastic. Alright. We have the cloaking field coming up. We have the factory number 2 coming up as well. Actually, no, that's factory number 1. I was going to say, that would be a really quick factory number 2. Either way, cloaking field. Stimpack will probably start up in a sec. We have the reactor over here so they can play the big switcheroo if they want to go for that marine production very shortly. Bailing Nest. Evo Chambers should be coming up soon. Spore Crawler's Lair. Yep. Looks like the classical game of ZVT. Banshee Cloaking Field. Did you know that the Banshee Cloaking Field is the exact same icon as the Ghost Cloaking Field? It's been that way since the beta of Wings of Liberty, and I'm pretty sure they were meant to update that at some point, but they just never did. Did you also know that the Roach Ooh, he's going Spire. Okay. Did you know the Roach Tunneling Claws and the Roach Speed upgrade, the icons for it are backwards? They've never fixed it, and at this point they shouldn't, but like, it's been a problem since Wings of Liberty beta. Like, the Tunneling Claws upgrade looks like, you know, the Roach Speed upgrade. And the Roach Speed upgrade looks like something is tunneling underground. It's crazy. So it's gonna be a Spire play. I remember Reynor saying he doesn't like playing Spire against Clem, because Clem is really good against Spire. So Spire obviously unlocks Mutas. And as you may have already noticed, Terran seems to be pretty good here in this series so far, playing with the Marines and the Widow Mines. You don't really change that unit composition when you play against Mutas. Widow Mines and Marines are pretty good. pretty neat against that sort of army. So he does have some gas saved up. I'm assuming he's seen it? No, he actually hasn't. Okay. So maybe the first influx of Mutas can kind of catch him off guard. The thing is, there's so many Marines and they have Stimpack and stuff. There's really no way that this is going to deal significant amounts of damage. He didn't start up Combat Shield. Mr. Clem. There's your dudes. They still have their shields in their back pockets. He's finishing up 1-1 right now, but I feel like Stimpack should have been followed with Combat Shield. Okay, there it is. He notices it. That's important, actually. It's 10 hit points for every Marine, which adds up very quickly. Okay, the Mutas are going to show themselves right now. The problem is, right, when you go for this type of army... Oh my god, that Widowmine just killed all of the Marines. Oof. At the same time, the Mutas are trying to get some work done over there. Anyways, the problem is when you go for the Muta's army, or the Muta army, is that they're very low hit point units, and they're very vulnerable in general. So they have 120 hit points. A Medevac, for comparison, has 150. And, like, one group of Marines that's stimped, or like, one group of, like, Widow Mines that's burrowed in a random spot, you can very easily accidentally lose all of them. And since they have a tendency to clump up together, it can be a bit of a disaster. So personally, I'm not a big fan of playing Mutas, but when it works well, it works really well. Okay, well that's one way of supply blocking the Terran player, sure. Bit of an aggressive way, but I guess it's fine. The wall will be rebuilt though. It's gonna make the Zerg player pay for it. In the form of Widow Mines and Banelings, or in the form of Banelings, I guess. Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Mutiling Bane recently against Terran, it seems. Seems like most of the top-level Zerg players are just not too fond of it. Lurkers seem to be better, but obviously they come out much later into the game as well. They're like a late-game unit. Man, I do not like the situation with the creep here. Clem, probably very happy with the situation on the creep. He's been pushing that back relentlessly, and it's gonna allow him to create like a push in this direction towards that base. Widow Mine over there, connecting to the Mutalisks. There's a lot of Widow Mines burrowed here as well. Banelings trying to get some work done, okay, but there's still a massive group of Marines there hiding behind the rocks. Phenomenal plays right here by Clem. And this army, while it was almost pushed back, it's not pushed back just yet. All of these Medevacs are now guarding their own private Marines, I guess. They're now private planes. Actually, oh my god. He just dropped changelings behind the army so they couldn't be moved backwards? Do you think that was on purpose? Probably. He dropped changelings right there out of the Overseer behind the Terran army so it couldn't be, like, split against Banes. Pretty sure that was on purpose. Either way, I'll just make the assumption it was. Yeah, so I love what Clem is doing here. Applying pressure where it hurts the most. And this is a location that hurts. This is like a sore spot, you know? Like, this is where Reynor has a bruise on the creep spread. And, like, Clem is just poking at it. And as long as he keeps poking at it, at some point, Reynor's gonna bleed out a base. Unless, you know, Clem makes a mistake and he gets punched in the face. Oh, that's a pretty good analogy, dude. Nicely done by me. Yeah, so he's gotta keep applying pressure in this direction. And once this base is killed, you can get rid of the creep over here. Then all of a sudden the base, the 5th, is going to be in a vulnerable location as well. Simultaneously, this also like gets rid of that Muta threat on your side of the map. The Muta count is growing, by the way. We're now going to go up to close to 20 Mutas. 20 Mutas is the point where, yeah, they can easily start picking up reinforcements. Exactly. Yep, they can one-shot Widow Mines over here as well. Hello. Still though, so many Widow Mines over here. 12 workers ended up going down in total here. Actually, not in total. I guess that's... Oh, was there a little Widow Mine drop there on the right? Maybe. I guess so. Okay, so now the Mutas are once again on the other side. They don't have any detection, though, so that Widowmine over here is in a bit of a key position. He probably sees the little pothole, but yeah, he can't target fire it down. Widowmine drop over here as well, getting a bunch of worker kills. Banelings going across the map. Banelings over there, though. Ooh-hoo! All get picked off by that one mine. Look at these hero SCVs. Target firing down the Baneling. They lift to tell that tale. I don't like the Mutas, man. I mean, they're good, but like... I feel just like Mass Ling Bane is better. Like Queen Ling Bane, it's real nice. This Widowmine. The one that was already responsible for clearing up all of the Banelings. Almost ended up shooting there once again. Creep spread, though, has not been replaced over here yet. So even though Clem kind of let go of the pressure for a little bit, he's now back to poke at it once more. There's still one more Widowmine. Reynor, there's still one more Widowmine. Okay, he does see it. Fourth hatchery right now is gone. Fifth hatchery right here on the right side is exactly what I was talking about. There's 30 workers mining over here. That is not what you want right now if you are Reynor. Okay, Zerglings, though, have made their way towards the mineral line. 12 workers end up going down. He's making the best of the situation. And you know what? Supply-wise, he's actually looking pretty good. I guess these Mutas are just sacrificing themselves right now for the greater good, picking up whatever they can. Here come the Banes again. There's really not that many Widowmines over here anymore, though. And all of a sudden, Reynor is flooding into the third base of the Terran player. While it felt to me like he was dead in the water, he's still in this. And he's actually adding on new Mutas. He's bringing the ones back home as well. These are responsible for killing up loads and loads of those Marines as they popped out of the barracks. There's still one Widowmine. Okay, Banelings over there. We're trying to be morphed in, but apparently Clem caught those. Base will be reacquired. Widowmine drop over here. Not going to happen either. Long distance mining the third base, but he's going to be able to pick that one back up. In the meantime, though, Clem has now secured his own fifth. How is this still a game? It's so nuts. It's so easy to just lose both bases, and then Reynor is dead, right? But Reynor apparently now re-secured it. The counterattack, once again, put him in a decent position. I think this is like the highest level StarCraft we can ask for at this point, right? Does it get any higher level than these two? It really doesn't. Like, even if there's better players out there, the fact that these guys have played against each other, you know, 100+ times, puts them into a different league as well as far as like skill level goes. Because no one really faces off against each other that often as these two do. So you get like a feeling for the other player's playstyle too, right? And it just creates like an extra dynamic, an extra mind game, an extra... It's so sick. I love it. Pretty sure 5 years from now I'll still be casting Clem versus Reynor, man. And I'll still be loving it. Only 2 SCVs ended up going down there. That mass repair was fantastic. Widowmine drop. Reynor saw it far before I did. Mutas, though, have to fly away for their lives over here. Clem has still got a couple Widowmines over here. He's now going through a different choke point. Okay, there is an Overseer. Okay, good. They have... Oh, God. Okay, they will be cleaned up. Very close. Same time, the Terran army here also seems to be cleaned up. Whew. Widowmine drop once again over at the third base this time around. Was it the fourth? Actually, I've been calling it the third. Maybe it was the fourth base all along. Yeah, I think it was. Top right hand corner now being acquired. Okay, so we have an actual macro game. Even though this game felt like it was over 8 minutes ago. Both players have not really been able to max out on their work accounts. But apparently, we're still going at it. Couple Widowmines, couple Marines, couple units here and there. Even though I've been questioning the Muta play, it seems like they have been quite nice. 26 of them in total now. 33 have gone down, man. That's so many units that have gone down here. Okay, units coming in from the back. Great surround, though. This time around, that fight took place mostly on creep. So Reynor actually gets a pretty decent trade there. Base in the top right-hand corner, though, looking kind of vulnerable. Though there's so much Zerg still remaining. Widowmine over here, okay, does not really fire in time. Still a couple of Widowmines here on the left as well. Liquid Clem trying to run away here from the Zerg swarm. He's trying to probably go for a planetary fortress right here in the center of the map. But Reynor right now ready to engage this. He does not want this base to land. He knows that his opponent is on 5 bases. 6 bases you do want to avoid at all costs. Question is, can he do it? Clem starts up the morphing into the planetary. He's got a couple Widowmines here as well. Muta's ready to apparently move on over towards the left side of the map. Lynx and Banes are apparently going to be protecting the top right-hand corner. The thing is, though, most of the time with Zerg, you play this kind of army off of 80 to like 90 drones. Reynor's never been able to get to that stage, so he doesn't have that much money. God, this base is turtled up. There's Widowmines, there's like missile turrets, there's now some reinforcing marines and mines coming up as well. A couple marauders too, I don't mean to be jerks to them, but marauders can't shoot up. Maybe they can lay on their backs and like shoot their shells into the sky or something, I don't know, but... Okay. I could have sworn Reynor was dead. Here we go, though. He's ready to engage. Muta's take a huge amount of damage, but the planetary... Oh my god, the planetary... Oh, hello. Okay, it does get killed here. Thor also in the back of this. Widowmine dropping a couple of marines over here. 41 Mutas have gone down. I felt like a lot of Mutas were dying there, but it wasn't actually that extreme in the end. Widowmine gets killed before it fires. I think that this army will also be killed. Muta's moving on over once again to the bottom left-hand corner. Main army of the Terran player now heading on over towards the top right-hand side. He knows that the expansion is taken there. Rather than going for that turtle up base, Reynor decides to go for the middle line over here. That's a little bit more vulnerable. Top right-hand corner, though, will be killed, I'm pretty sure. He's going to try and target fire it down, and it lives for now. Thor over here can soak up a lot of bailing hits, and actually, oh my god, that Widowmine killed so much stuff. I think it triggered like a chain reaction where the Widowmine attacked the Banelings. The Baneling exploded, and then a lot of the Zerg and Terran army also ended up going down. Regardless, Clem did win that fight. Top right-hand corner will still be killed. There's actually a bunker over here. I love it. Okay. Yeah, so that fight, can we just go back to it once more? So this is like 30 seconds before the end of the game, and it looks to me like Reynor is in a pretty good spot right now. The thing is, Terran's at 3-3, and Reynor's never really got a big eco, right? So Reynor, he's still at Laratech, so he's kind of sitting here at mid-game armies, versus a Terran player that's transitioned towards the late game. Now this fight over here was a little bit wild. So he's busy dealing with the Mutas right now at home, which is why this base still lives. Then what exactly happens over here? This Widowmine over here. No, okay, actually, that's not what happened. I thought it was like a chain reaction. That Widowmine just killed a gajillion Zerglings there, and I think that Reynor attack moved the Banelings, which made a lot of them roll right there into the Thor. And Big Daddy Thor over here will take those Banelings every day of the week. Yep, so even though it feels like maybe a bit of an early GG, at this point in the game, Reynor lost the last mining base that he's got because this one is running out, this one is running out, this one is running out as well. Clem has just secured more expansions himself. The Mutas aren't really getting that much work done here in the main base of the Terran player either. And at that point, Clem is ahead in eco, he's ahead in army, and he is ahead in upgrades. Reynor knows it. He decides to call it quits, and that does mean that Team Liquid's Clem is going to be the one that obtains the victory. I hope you enjoyed watching today's series. If you did and you made it all the way until this point in the video, please take the 1 second that it takes to hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. You can even hit the little bell icon, actually. Like, right next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell icon. When you click that one, you get pop notifications or, like, pop-up notifications on your phone exactly when I publish. So you can even, like, go down into the comments section and claim first. And then everyone's going to be like, wow, that guy is so cool. He got first on the video. That's what people do, right? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.